Hello, and welcome to Other Perspectives. I'm Nancy Kaplan. In both national and state news, one of the primary topics is the condition of the economy. Here in Michigan, we are very aware of many financial struggles. To discuss Ann Arbor's financial situation, I am pleased to have as my guest Karen Sidney. Welcome. Karen, let's begin by reviewing City Council's budget retreat a year ago to see if they were able to foretell what was coming and if they were correct in what they thought was going to be happening in their planning.
Well, at last year's council retreat, which was held in January, they predicted that property tax revenues would decline because Pfizer would be completely off the tax rolls and because real estate property values were going down. They said that state revenue sharing would be flat or even could decline. And they said that because of the investment losses in the pension fund, it would mean that we would have bigger contributions. In fact, just today I got some of the detail, but at this year's retreat, at least for the 2010 taxes, the ones for the fiscal year we're in now, it actually was a few $100,000 better than they thought. So, I mean, our tax base, compared to other places around the state, our tax base is holding up pretty well. I understand that Oakland County has just been devastated, and we know that in some of the townships in the county, they have had much bigger declines in property values. So ours are, I mean, as I recall, they were more or less flat between '09 and 2010. You know, when you got, you know, 50 million and, you know, you've a few hundred thousand differences in the noise. 2010 or 2011, at least last year at the budget retreat, Crawford was predicting, as I recall, a 4.5% to 5% decline. And it looks like, at least what he's projecting, that's pretty close, maybe again a little bit better. And that's 60% of the general fund revenue. So that makes a big difference. On the revenue sharing, this gets confused. Revenue sharing is in two parts. Say there's roughly 10 million that comes in. 7 million is constitutional.
Revenue sharing from the state.
From the state.
Right.
So there's not an option for the legislature to change that. About 3 million, it's what's called statutory. So that's within the discretion of the legislature. They could cut it back if they wanted to. But it's funded by sales tax. And in a recession, people buy less and the sales tax is down. So the revenue sharing, you know, is actually declined somewhat. And I think the revenue sharing went down a little bit more than he had predicted. On the other hand, the investment losses in the pension fund, the actuarial report that was just in, the next contribution was actually a little bit less than the year before. And it's not that things got any better. What they did is they changed the assumption. I mean, one of the actuaries do this complicated calculation and they make a lot of assumptions. And so an assumption was changed that resulted in a lower contribution, and it's kicking the can down the road. We'll get longer to pay it off.